Rolling. All right. Welcome back to Two Marks and a Spark. It has been 2 long weeks. I just got back into town today. We are recording this about 11 o'clock Central Time on Sunday night, right after Wrestledream. I'm Ben Shrewsbury, your host as always, with me, Uncle Russ. Hi,
Hello.
Russ. For those wondering, Russ is not my actual uncle, but he very well could be.
Yeah.
I would find that quite comical, actually.
All right.
Speaking of comical, 90% of this AEW show was just that.
Well, it was interesting.
I will say, because we didn't do a review on it, I thought Grand Slam was a very good show. I think AEW has done very well without CM Punk
Yeah.
in terms of show
The new
quality.
era. I think
New era.
hopefully they'll get over that, you know. Yeah, they're talking 4-year anniversary. Is it 4 or 5 years?
It's 4
4
years.
years. 4 years, yeah.
Well, neither one of us watched the pre-show.
Nope. I skipped it altogether. So whatever happened there, I'm gonna assume is not very important or relevant.
So this show ties into what we've all kind of feared was coming, which is 12 pay-per-views a year. Because we have Full Gear next month.
Yeah, I think they're gonna try to milk it. Definitely.
When is Full Gear 2023? Oh, they're actually doing that one on a Saturday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, Full Gear is actually on a Saturday.
Right.
Thank God. Wait, how are they going to do Collision then?
Well, I don't know. I guess they're going to have to come up with something, won't they?
I'm very confused by that.
Right.
Well, anyway, they're going to be in LA or Anaheim or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, let's talk about this Wrestledream show.
Sure. Seattle, Washington.
This crowd sucked.
You know, they didn't get started out there till about 9 o'clock at night. They're that would have been. No, I'm sorry. I'm going the wrong direction. Yeah.
They got started at 5.
Is it Mountain or Pacific?
They're Pacific.
Okay. Yes,
Well,
but we started off with MJF in his handicap match against the so-called righteous.
If they could have scrapped something from this show, I think this would have been it. And I think they would have if it wasn't MJF.
Yeah, it was pretty much a comedy match. I don't know a lot about the righteous, but the big guy, what's he call himself, Dutch?
They're good. My problem with this show,
by the guy, isn't that guy in CZW that used to wrestle in his underwear?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, the guy used to come out in his briefs and wrestle. I thought that's that dumb son bitch.
I don't think he was the only one that did that. By the way, my problem with this show is not match quality. I will get into my problem with this show as we go along. All the matches were really good here, except for a couple. But for the most part, the matches were good. It was the booking that was just padded room level safe. And it's just like, what are we doing?
But as predicted, MJF won. And like I said, if they could have cut something out, they wouldn't have hurt to cut this.
You could have gotten MJF on the show another way.
Right.
Then we had another very good match. Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata for the ROH and NJPW Strong titles. I thought this match was very good. Eddie got the win. The crowd did not give a single shit about Eddie Kingston.
It sure didn't. Crowd was pretty quiet throughout a lot of the night.
The crowd did not give a single shit until about the last 5 minutes of this match.
I thought it was pretty good. It was better than I thought it would be.
I knew it was going to be great. Anyway, Kingston gets the win.
Yeah. Interesting match, though.
Very interesting. I thought this was one of the better matches on the first half of the show.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Shibata. Yeah.
He's
We've seen him a
fantastic.
couple times on AEW, have we not? Once
He's
or twice.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's very good. And I like the displays of sportsmanship, that these guys sometimes have before and after the match, even when they beat the crap out of each other. A lot of the fans like to see that, and I do. That's that old Ring of Honor tradition, right?
Yes, sir. What else was very good on this show, and a match that kind of nobody expected anything from, because I think everybody thought it would get no time. Chris Statlander and Julia Hart had one hell of a match here.
Better than I thought it would be also. I'm not wild on Julia Hart's gimmick, but she's a better wrestler than I have given her credit for.
She's fantastic.
Yes, and this match was pretty good match.
And a Minnesota girl at that.
And more time than I anticipated they'd give it also. I don't know how long it went, but I thought it was more time than I expected for sure.
This match picked up towards the end. Statlander got the win, which I thought was the wrong call, but, to each their own.
I think they're going to keep their belt on her for a little while more.
To this point in the show, I have not had a problem. Okay? I'm enjoying this show to this point. Where I start having the problem is this fucking 4-way tag match.
That's the next thing right here, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and this frosted my ass too. This was the AEW tag title eliminator. And you look at who's in it: the Bucks, the Guns, Lucha Brothers, Orange Cassidy, and Hook. I would have been, if I was a bet man, I would have bet money that the Young Bucks are going to be booked to go over in this silly match. Of course, anytime you get 8 wrestlers in the ring at the same time, it's bound to be a silly, worthless match. Almost always, every time. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. And I knew the Bucks were going to win this from the second they were announced to be in it.
Right.
This was predictable. The match was fine, but
I hear you.
Ray Phoenix got hurt here. Again. Unfortunately. Yeah. And you could make a real argument he was the most talented guy in this match, so that didn't help.
Yeah. You could make that case.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed.
Partner too, also.
Penta, yeah. I don't know if you noticed this. This show was lit like shit.
Well, I think AEW's got a lighting problem in general, and I agree with you. It did kind of show.
And again, my problem with this show is not match quality. It is the booking. The Bucks should not have won this match.
You notice the low lighting. You notice how much better WWE, their shows are lit than AEW?
Because they have more money.
Well, yeah, that's right. Because, they can spend tens of thousands of dollars every single week just to light up the audience to make it look better on TV. But we're talking about big money
that most companies in the world just do not have.
That's right.
AEW is not the only company that has a lighting problem.
No, and I'm sure they're probably doing the best they can.
Considering what they're paying some of their wrestlers, I certainly understand why they may have a budget problem.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I think these guys getting paid too much.
Some of the, and just the sheer number of people as well. You want to know a match that kicked ass?
The next one?
The next one.
Which was?
Strickland versus Page.
I was surprised. I expected this to be good, but it was even better than I thought it was. I did not expect Swerve Strickland to win. I mean, I know it's his hometown crowd, but I just had a feeling that they were gonna pull the trigger on that Hangman again. And I'm glad they didn't. I like this match, even though Big Bill, or not Big Bill. I mean, I'm thinking of the wrong match here. Yeah, it was good. It was brutal.
Big Bill did come down.
Yeah, but now, for Swerve, he did interfere a little bit, didn't he? Toward the end there.
I thought that was Nana. Wait, no, we're thinking of the wrong match again.
Yeah, we are too, because I had to get up and use the facilities at some point in there, so I missed a little bit.
This was the best match on the show to this point. And it wasn't even close.
I agree with you. No, yeah, Big Bill was Ricky Starks. I'm getting my maxes mixed up here. Prince Nana and his entourage are the ones that are with Swerve Strickland. And we got
Well,
to see him doing his dance. He's a good dancer, isn't he?
I'm gonna tell Damon to cut you doing that dance out and put it on TikTok. Anyway.
All right, good.
Oh, geez. Okay. Damon,
Now,
cut that out.
this
Put it
was
on
the
TikTok.
best match of the show so far. I agree.
Paige was getting booed to hell because Strickland's from Seattle.
Right.
Now Paige gets booed anyway.
He gets booed a lot, you know. I think a lot of the AEW fans are kind of sick of him too. Kind of like we get sometimes.
Well, if he'd turn heel, I think that would help him.
It would. If he could come across as a believable heel, it might help him out a lot.
Speaking of believable heels, Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta.
Yes, this was next, and oh boy, this was fun, wasn't it?
This was a ripper. It wasn't very long. This match was not very long. This was
right. And this is the one where this is where we got the assist from Big Bill.
And this had the somewhat.
I was surprised that Ricky Starks won it.
This had the somewhat unfortunate task of having to follow again the match of the night to this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything that followed that was not going to be as good, right?
And Starks won.
Yes.
And if they keep pushing Starks like this, I'm going to be a very happy man.
Yeah. I think he's a great wrestler. He's a good heel. I think they should need to keep using him too. I really totally agree.
I like him as a babyface, but I love him as a heel.
Yeah.
I think he's a great heel. And then we get just a clinic in wrestling.
Yeah. Wow. This was
Danielson
amazing.
and Sabre.
Right. And
this should have closed the show, if not for the thing at the end. I think it would have.
Well, it dawned on me finally where I'd seen Zack Sabre before, because I don't know a lot of these younger guys as well as y'all do. But I'm sure I saw him on NXT a while back.
No, he was in.
It was the cruiserweight tournament, wasn't it?
No, he was never. I don't think he was ever in NXT.
All right, my mistake. I thought I'd seen him in WWE in some way, but I could be mistaking him for somebody else.
This was a great match.
Yeah.
Front to back. I had connection issues during this match, which really pissed me off.
Oh no. This was it was a clinic.
This was the one match I didn't want to have issues during. I had issues throughout the night, by the way. It was just more severe here.
Oh, that's too bad. It's just
well, yeah. But anyway, this was a match of the year candidate. This was the best match on the show.
Right. And you got a time there? How long did it go?
I think it went about 25 minutes.
Yeah. 25, because it was pretty close to a half hour. I felt like they gave it the time it needed.
It felt shorter than that, though, because it was so quick.
It was action-packed. These guys didn't rest on their laurels. It's amazing to me how Danielson can go.
It's amazing to me that guy's near the end of his career and he's still doing this.
Yeah.
At this level.
It's pretty amazing.
Yes. And then we get a stinker. Just a rotten match.
Are you talking about our old buddy Don Callis and his family?
Good God. And you want to know, can I go on a rant here?
I wish you would.
My problem with this match is not Takeshita. It's not Don Callis. God knows it's not Don Callis. This ain't poor old Don's fault.
All right.
It's not Kenny Omega's fault. It's not Kota Ibushi's fault. And it's not Chris Jericho's fault. That leaves
Debbie and Will.
No, I said it's not Ospreay's fault.
Oh.
That leaves one son of a bitch.
Yeah.
who at this point has get off my fucking TV heat with me.
Uh-huh.
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah. Well, it could
You
be
know,
worse.
I didn't mind this match until the end.
Yeah.
The finish fucked this match.
Well, I didn't like the ending either because you see, Sammy got the pin, didn't he?
That was not my problem.
Yeah.
My problem with it was the way they got there.
Yeah, and he just rolled in there like a smart ass. You know what I mean? He had the smirk on his face like a heel's supposed to. But it still would have been fun to slap him, right?
I just don't like Guevara. I don't like him on my TV. I don't like him wrestling. I just don't like Sammy Guevara. Personal preference. We're going to talk about WWE later because we got a whole bunch of news on them. We're going to talk about everything we missed news-wise after we review.
There was a lot of news. There is a lot of news going on.
We're going to get through Wrestledream somewhat quicker than usual just because we do have some news to catch up on.
Right, but we got a couple more matches here though that were pretty good actually.
Correct, but long story short, Guevara gets the pin. I don't know why you didn't just do Jericho Guevara 2 if you were going to just have Jericho pin Guevara anyway.
Right.
And then you could have done Takeshita and Ospreay against Omega and Ibushi, and that would have been a lot better match.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, what was a much better match? FTR versus Aussie Open.
Yeah. Not bad. Best match I've seen. Aussie Open. That's our best match I've seen so far.
Well, FTR retained the titles. We're getting FTR Young Bucks 4.
Right.
Which I could certainly do without.
Absolutely. We're going to get it anyway. So.
They don't care.
No. They just want to even up the score. They want to get another win in the column. They'll be tied up 2-2. Then they'll have to do another one.
Well, this match was very good. FTR retained the titles. This match, in my mind, went a little too long, but it was a very good match.
Yeah, they gave it a little time, didn't they? Maybe too much. Well, that's because at this point, though, we'd been watching since 7, and maybe we were just getting a little restless. The show's getting kind of long.
They were padding for time.
Was in that slot.
I wonder if Christian was like writing his dead dad jokes in the back, just like.
That's right. That's right.
And then we get a match that just was fucking incredible.
Yeah. This was the one I was looking forward to the most personally, and I was not disappointed. I like 2 out of 3 falls, and this was the best I've seen Darby Allin do in a long time. We got to see a little bit of everything in this one.
This was a romper. They did everything they could do in this match, plus a little bit more.
It sure did.
There was chair spots. There was tables, and there was a stretcher spot where Christian did a frog splash onto the frickin' stretcher.
Out of the stretcher.
I'd never seen that before.
That's right. We saw the wood under the ring padding exposed.
We don't see that very often. I don't think we've ever seen it.
We don't see that very often at all.
I don't think they've ever done it in AEW.
Not that I remember. But yeah, well, Darby got the first fall, but then the second one Christian got by count out. That's when he was out on the stretcher.
Despite the fact that Devlin is not here because he got stuck at work.
Yeah.
He did see the majority of this match. This is the only thing he saw on the show. And me and him agree, Christian Cage is probably the best thing on AEW television right now, and it's really not close. This guy is fucking insane.
Well, it's amazing. He's in the twilight of his career, and he's doing some of his best work, some of his best promos that he's ever done. And
everybody's father.
With Christian coming back on the possibility of Christian and Edge and Christian working together, I'm assuming he's probably going to use the name Adam Copeland. Isn't Edge copyrighted?
Well, let's save that for a minute here because I want to talk about this Darby Christian match.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of us. I'm getting ahead here.
I know this was 2 out of 3 falls, but if they wanted to do this again as like a 30-minute Iron Man match, I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
Are you?
No, this was good. I'm interested in just about anything
And
Christian
people
wants
were
to do.
complaining that this was the main event. And I'm like,
No,
okay, well,
it was a good choice for the main event. It was my match I was the most excited to see.
okay, well, if you didn't have the thing you had at the end of this show, Danielson probably main events the show and nobody would argue with that. You would have been perfectly content with Bryan Danielson main eventing a show.
Sure. But
Because
we had a big reveal. We had to save for last.
well, so this whole fucking thing breaks down and the ref is down because of course the ref is down because this is AEW.
Right. And he's down for a long time.
Bryce
These
Rumsberg
referees are
died.
all extremely soft and vulnerable.
Bryce Rumsberg
barely tap them and they're unconscious.
Bryce Rumsberg passed away during this match, died, deceased, croaked,
Right.
and then was miraculously revived.
Amen.
He's been given a second lease on life. We can confirm Bryce Rumsberg is just fine. All things considered. Well, anyway, at one point, Nick Wayne comes down when the referee's down, hands Darby the title, or is going to go to hand Darby the title, and then he hits Darby with the belt. And Nick Wayne turns on Darby Allin, and this place goes nuclear.
Yep. I kind of anticipated that. Did you see that coming?
No, because I didn't see the next thing coming either. So the first thing that happens here is Christian wins, which that's the one match I got wrong on this show. I had 12 out of these 13 results right.
Oh, wow. You predicted very good then.
This is the one I got wrong.
Okay.
The only reason I picked Darby
to win. 13 matches counting the pre-show, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the one I got wrong.
Really? You got 12 out of 13 correct, though.
I got this wrong because I didn't see I saw the Nick Wayne turn coming, but I didn't think it was going to be here. Does that make any sense?
Sure. You thought they'd wait.
And I also didn't really feasibly see a way that this next bit was going to happen. So anyway, Christian retains the title. And him and Nick Wayne just start absolutely assaulting Darby Allin. There's no other way to put it. Like, they are just assaulting this man. It is a gang attack. They are 2-on-1ing this dude, and it's not even fair. Well, anyway, Sting, to absolutely no fanfare, zero at all, comes down to the ring. There's no snow. There's no music. There's just Sting. He comes down. He hulks up like it's 1988 for a minute, and then is very swiftly reminded by Luchasaurus, dude, it's 2023.
That's right. Yep. Correct.
And I don't know if Sting forgot what year it was, Tony forgot what year it was, or they all did.
Well, suspension of disbelief only goes so far.
Well, anyway,
who's in his 50s with bad legs and a bad back,
60s,
right?
60s. Well, anyway, Sting gets the hell beat out of him by these three guys.
Right.
Darby Allin is dead because, he took a pile driver on the stairs and among other things. Darby is basically just dead in a corner somewhere. And Sting is getting the hell beat out of him. And I'm thinking, either they're going to do a debut here or this show's about to go off the air in just the most awful fashion. In just the most Hell in a Cell 2019 kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Good point, yeah.
And people would have been chanting refund. Well, anyway, the lights go off. And I'm thinking, okay, either they're doing a stupid Sting spot here, which would have been totally believable, or something's about to happen. And then we get the most nonsensical video. I thought Tony Storm was coming out.
Yeah. I noticed that very briefly. If you blink, you missed it. But on the pavement, on when the car is pulling out, you seen briefly the words "R-rated superstar," which apparently is not copyrighted by WWE. That phrase, and so I figured, yep, it's Adam Copeland.
Well, when I saw the feature presentation thing, I texted Devlin, is Tony Storm coming out to make this? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Imagine this whole thing is going on, this whole schmoz, and then here comes fucking Tony Storm.
Yeah.
How angry would you have been?
Yeah, she wasn't on the show. So yeah, that would have worked. I hear you.
Well, anyway, then a remixed You Think You Know Me hits. And Edge has his music, apparently. His contract expired yesterday.
Nope, no time like the present. Just go for it. That was good timing, though, wasn't it? That your first free day working for the company is a pay-per-view.
And this crowd was very quiet all night. They came alive for Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And commentary didn't say anything for like 4 minutes after Edge came out because I don't think they knew what to call him.
Right. Exactly.
Christian looked like he was going to both shit his pants and cry at the same time.
Yeah.
And Edge beats the hell out of all three of them with a chair because it looks like he's going to give the concerto to Darby, and then he doesn't.
Almost. And then yep.
And Christian runs away like a little pussy bitch.
That's right. And then you've got Sting shaking hands with Edge. Those guys in the ring. Yeah. So that was a nice close for the.
And Darby pulled himself up by the ropes, and he looked at the way he was looking at Edge was kind of like, don't you work for the other company? Do you work here?
Well, they have to register surprise, in order to go along with the storyline.
It almost looked like they just didn't tell him. He was just like,
everybody knows, right?
It almost looked like they didn't tell him because Darby's just kind of looking at him like, do you work here now? What the hell is going on?
They didn't exactly interact, though, did they?
Well, they shook hands.
They did. Yes, they did.
I could not believe it when You Think You Know Me hit.
Yeah, that's right.
Metalingus is one of the all-time great wrestling theme songs, wrestler themes. And the fact that they were able to get it for him here.
Yeah. Well, they're willing to spend the money, aren't they?
Well, they're willing to spend the money, and they're willing to take the risk, I guess, of bringing in a guy like, I don't know what the risk is with Edge. I don't think there really is one. He's a professional.
Right.
He's not the CM Punk type who's gonna stir up shit.
Well, he's probably not going to be sexually harassing the people behind the scenes and all this kind of bullshit. And he's probably not going to say that he wants to rape any female superstars.
He's probably not gonna get in a fight with anybody. Anyway,
I doubt it. He's smart enough to earn his money and taking the best care of himself he can physically and earn big money, and not a bad way to go out.
So, Russ, I have to ask you, reckless speculation here. When do you think Edge knew he was going to be in Seattle?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you think he left it late? Do you think he really waited till the last minute to make a decision?
Possibly, but I kind of doubt it. I think he did. They just kept it quiet. Probably had it in the works for a while and just kept it very quiet.
Because I don't know if you remember this. He posted like this video on social media basically saying, I have not rejected a contract from WWE, which we now know was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
He did reject a contract from WWE.
Yes, he did.
Maybe he hadn't.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Maybe he didn't then, but he has now.
Right. Yes.
Well, anyway, so Edge is in AEW now, which is just a really weird sentence.
Right. And this all leads into Wednesday's Dynamite, which will be their 4th anniversary show. Maybe we'll have some more surprises. Who knows?
Well, we did get a bunch of releases, unfortunately, from WWE.
A lot. And I was surprised at some of the names. There was about 15 or 16 wrestlers and some other people.
I'm going to go through the notable ones here.
Yes.
Aaliyah, Rick Boogs, Elias. That one was surprising.
Elias.
Yep. Riddick Moss, not a total surprise, I don't think.
Right. Although Riddick Moss, Madcap Moss, I tell you what, I wish they'd give him a good gimmick because he's a great wrestler.
I'm getting notes from the press conference. Adam Copeland has signed a full-time multi-year deal with AEW.
All right. Good deal. We lost Shelton Benjamin too.
Shelton Benjamin, he'll end up in AEW. I don't see any other way.
I don't think that AEW is going to want to hire Matt Riddle for the.
We'll get to Riddle in a minute. I'm going to go on a whole separate thing on Riddle.
Yeah, because that was a separate firing from these others. These
as
were
was
like,
Ali. As
these
was
were like
Mustafa
economic firings for money purposes. Matt Riddle, there's something else going on with Matt Riddle.
Mustafa Ali was also let go separately of this.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And he's a good worker too. Yes. And then it was a day or two later, then they announced that they had released Matt Riddle.
No, Riddle announced that he'd been.
He announced, yeah, they didn't make it a lot of announcement, but he has had so much controversy and so much personal problem.
How much of it do you think was them just cutting bait and saying,
well, I think this airport incident where he claimed that he was groped by the airport security, and the footage shows that he was drunk on his ass, and he was being a drunk.
Did you watch that video
in the airport? I've seen enough of it. Yeah,
it was awful. It was embarrassing.
Well, I think that the company said, we've invested too much time and money in this asshole. Let's let him go. Dana White was hilarious. Did you hear Dana White's comments?
No.
When Matt Riddle announced he was going to WWE, Dana White said, "You stupid son of a bitch. You have 3 fights a year with UFC. 3 times a year you got to work, and you test positive for pot. There's no excuse for that. Zero excuse for that." And he says, "You're going to be on the road 300 days a week with WWE. You're not," and he said, "You're not going to last there. They're going to get rid of you." And he was right. That gives stoners a bad.
Adam Copeland will be on Dynamite on Wednesday.
Well, good.
I'm getting notes from the press conference as we're sitting here talking. So if you see me look down, I'm looking at notes from the press conference that I'm getting as we talk here.
Right.
Ali was a surprise. Also,
Elias was brought back, and I thought they were going to do something with him.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph.
That was the big one where I was just like, wow, they're really cutting bait here.
Right, because he's one of the best wrestlers they've had in years, but apparently they just don't have nothing for him now.
He'll go to AEW. Or maybe I've heard rumor already that he might just re-sign with WWE on like a lesser deal.
Who knows?
That'd be goofy.
Stand-up comedy too. Maybe he'll do some more. That's a tough gig. That's a really tough one.
So Russ, of these releases, which one were you the most upset by? Probably Shelton, right?
Uh,
Uh,
Shelton Benjamin, yeah. Shelton Benjamin and Dolph Ziggler.
your video is frozen on
I was
my
not
end.
upset like that. You don't want him in your company. He's a toxic individual, appears to be to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's his own worst enemy, too.
I would absolutely agree with that.
Right.
So long story short, these releases suck, most of them.
Right.
I watched NXT No Mercy, Russ. Would you like to hear my thoughts?
Yes, I would like to hear it. I did not, but I would like to know. I've heard good things about NXT. There's as things are catching up. By
Why is my stuff being slow here? All right, there we go. So NXT No Mercy. This show was fantastic by all accounts.
oh, you froze up there for a minute. I think that.
Yeah, I'm having some Zoom issues too. Tell you what, we're gonna cut here. We're gonna come right back, and yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. I apologize for that. We had some technical difficulties. Breaking news as we come back on the air here. Edge's first match in AEW will be against Luchasaurus on Tuesday, October 10th. So that's interesting. Anyway, back to NXT No Mercy. This show, top to bottom, was the most fun NXT show I've seen since Triple H left. I want to talk specifically about the main event.
Yes.
Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton closed this show.
Right.
And these two had the best fucking Extreme Rules match I've seen in fucking years. They had everything. They had a shopping cart. They had barbed wire. They had everything. And dude, I don't care about NXT most of the time.
Yeah.
But dude,
good. It was good, huh?
Dragunov and Hayes just about killed each other, but they had a great match.
Yes. Very good. Isn't he the one that took the NXT belt off of Gunther?
The NXT UK belt, yeah. Now he wins the NXT belt. I would presume Carmelo's going to the main roster.
Right.
But I do want to talk about a couple other things here. So,
yes.
Russ.
There was a couple other news items.
Russ, I want your opinion, first of all, on Edge and AEW. Just your initial reaction on Edge jumping ship.
Well, I'm interested. I think it's a good move for him. I'm interested to see how he's going to wrestle. You know, I would
also want to talk about, and we're just kind of shooting the shit at this point because it's almost midnight. Granted, the cameras are on and we're recording, but you know, you're getting to see this. Did you hear what Shawn Michaels said about CM Punk?
Nope.
So this guy did an interview, and I think it was with Fightful. And he probably got in trouble for this one, and I wouldn't be surprised. But he probably doesn't care. He said that if, and I quote, Triple H doesn't want CM Punk on the main roster, I'll take him in NXT.
Oh, man.
Can you fucking imagine?
I can't believe he said that. Of course, how do you know?
Also, Shawn Michaels said during this same interview that he vehemently believes CM Punk is coming back.
Yes. Well, we'll see. I hope not, because we already know what's going to happen. Same thing that happens every time.
Same thing that just happened.
Exactly. And it's going to happen over. The guy is, I don't care how good a wrestler he is, and he's one of the best of all time. And I don't care how good a talker he is. The guy's ego obviously makes it very, very difficult for him to get along with other people and work with them.
You nailed that one on the head.
Yeah.
Well,
there is other news, though. How about our girl Jade?
Jade Cargill going to WWE. I don't even really think that's news. I think we talked about that last time. It's official now. I listened to her interview.
It is official.
I listened to the interview she did with The Ringer. She came off great.
Right. I think she's in a position I think she's in a good position going in there, right?
I mean, she had logical reason for wanting to go. She said WWE offered her more in terms of opportunity and money.
More opportunity, more money. Plus, she can get some of the best training. She was talking about how great that was too. So it'll be interesting to see how they use her.
I thought she might debut at No Mercy just because of the fact that they had that women's match go on last, and the fact that Becky won.
There was rumors online that she might show up at NXT, but I thought it's a little sudden. I think they're gonna bring her in somehow.
And they're already teasing Brian Pillman. It would
shock me if they brought her right to the main roster.
They're not going to. She's going to NXT.
Okay.
By the way, Brian Pillman is being teased.
Is that confirmed pretty much?
Yeah. It's also being teased, and they've pretty much shown him now. Brian Pillman is going to NXT as well, but we already know.
Brian Pillman Jr., another guy that
AEW mind fucked. Another guy that AEW just mind fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good worker, though.
Very good. I'm interested to see what he does. NXT is worth watching.
I'm going to have to take a look at it this week. Been a long time.
I recommend watching it on Peacock the next day, though, because the ads are insufferable on the USA Network.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of which, rewatching shows, WWE will no longer be available on Hulu. I think that might even actually already be over.
When did that come out? I didn't see. I've been out of town.
Yeah, that came out. And also, let's see if I can remember the details. Fox backed out of the deal at the last minute, and USA Network has repurchased the broadcast rights to SmackDown. Correct. They are paying something like they're doing something like $300 million a year for 5 years. They're going to be doing primetime specials on NBC, which will be interesting because we haven't had primetime wrestling on network TV for a very long time.
Quick correction on
correct me.
Hulu deal.
Yes.
The deals were set to expire on the 25th.
The 25th of this month?
Yeah, on the 25th of September. They've agreed to a short-term extension while a longer-term deal gets worked out.
Okay. All right.
By the way, this is not uncommon with Hulu. Hulu has these types of things all the time where
these might not have anything to do with the sale.
No, and here's the thing, right? Hulu is owned by Disney, who are the most shrewd fucking negotiators you have ever seen in your life.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And WWE, now owned by Endeavor, what are they? A whole bunch of shrewd fucking negotiators.
That's right. TV people.
So let's get some press conference notes here. Thank you to Devlin, who's not here on the show tonight, but he will be here next week. He had to stay late at work, but he is feeding me press conference notes. He mentioned some names he wants to work with. I will read what I have here. Moxley, Claudio, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, Swerve, Nick Wayne. I think all those are pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that'd be great.
I think him and Luchasaurus are going to fucking kill it on Dynamite, by the way.
Yeah.
Dynamite is on Tuesday, not this week, but next week. I hate Dynamite on Tuesdays. Do you know why?
Because you can't see NXT.
No, because do you know what I usually do on Tuesdays?
Well, you not watch wrestling, right? What do you usually do?
Literally anything else. It's usually
Right.
that's usually my grocery shopping day, so that's inconvenient.
Yeah.
More press conference notes. Still Adam Copeland. For now. I'm getting to the end of Adam Copeland here. He said that he loves the attention to detail and hopes to be able to work backstage and add, quote, nuggets to certain matches in both the men's and women's division. That's good. He's also quoted as saying he would love Beth Phoenix to join him. He doesn't say that if he doesn't think it's going to happen, by the way.
All right.
I don't know if you know this about Adam Copeland. That guy's really smart. And he doesn't say anything without like knowing something.
Sure.
So I won't be surprised if Beth shows up. And that was it for him. MJF appears to be next. Will probably be done before he finishes swearing at the audience. Russ,
Yes,
how
sir.
have you been, sir? How has the last 2 weeks of your life been?
I've been fairly uneventful.
You haven't had to put up with me. How blissful has that been?
It's been kind of a nice break. You're not such a bad guy, Benjamin. You're all right. I don't care what anybody says. I like you anyway.
Well, a lot of wrestling fans happen to think I'm quite the asshole because I
Well,
don't like the Young Bucks.
well, you must be doing something right then, because well, I don't like the Young Bucks either. I
Yeah,
guess that
depending
makes
on what
me.
circle of Twitter you hang out on my heel. Anyway, in another circles, I'm a fucking babyface. Anyway,
I did. I did. It's not a new show, but I did watch that 7-part Wrestlers
I've heard
series
that's really good.
on Netflix which is about Ohio Valley Wrestling. I highly recommend it. It's very, very well done.
I tried to watch that on the bus, but I was having issues with my phone, so I couldn't. But
Very interesting to see the struggles of a small promotion. And they're still doing weekly TV, which is really,
live.
really,
They're
really,
doing it
really
live. They're not just
incredible.
doing
Yeah,
TV, they're doing it live.
yeah, doing live TV every week. That's amazing for a company that small.
Al Snow is a miracle worker.
Yeah,
I've heard Al Snow is like the ultimate babyface of that thing. Like he has just put over like God.
yeah. Well, the series ends the last episodes with return to the ring for him too. That's very interesting. So I would recommend that.
MJF said at the press conference that he thinks this is one of, if not the best pay-per-views they've ever done. I vehemently disagree.
Yeah, not the worst, but not the best.
The end of the pay-per-view was fantastic. I thought that was marvelous.
Like I agree with you. You said if there's one thing they could have just skipped altogether, it would have been the handicap tag team match. But
It's MJF. They got to get him on the show, but there's other ways to do that.
Yep.
I have been out of town for 2 weeks.
Anything new and exciting at home when you got back?
No. But they did announce while I was on the road that Dynamite is going to be in Minneapolis on the 29th of November.
Oh, really?
I'm probably going to that show.
All right.
So we might, I want to talk to you after the show because we might do like a on the spot show.
Sure.
Like after that.
Yeah.
Me and you.
That'd be interesting.
Just because I think that would be fun. I know you're not going to be there, but I will be.
All right. Well,
I'll just have.
I could watch it on TV and you could watch it live and then we could talk about it. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, not wrestling related, but I got 2 new family members.
Yeah, you got 2 new dogs.
Boris and Natasha. You see, in pet families, here's how the math works. One pet dies, so you get 2 more.
That's how it's always worked.
Yeah, so Boris and Natasha got a Shih Tzu and a poodle, and the same age, and they're a lot of fun.
I
Very
got up
happy to have them.
I got up to a load of fun on this trip. I was gone from the 19th to today, the 1st. I
Was
went
this a
to
vacation?
yeah, and it was an extended one. Uh
Good.
I went to the Minnesota United game against St. Louis. That was really fun. That stadium, I don't know if you've heard anything about that stadium up there, Russ, but Allianz Field is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think it's the best stadium in the state of Minnesota. And I've been to all of them now. And I think
Great.
that's the best one. And I think TCF Bank Stadium is just a wretched place to be. And I've been there my fair share of times. Speaking of wretched places to be, I spent way too much time in downtown St. Paul.
Okay. What's downtown St. Paul?
Well, that's where the concert I was going to was.
All right.
And like, it's better than Minneapolis, but it's still kind of that feeling of what the hell is going on? Oh, do you want to hear a freaking? I'm going to go on a rant. Fuck it. This show is off the rails, but you don't click on Two Marks and a Spark expecting it to be on topic. If you're still doing that, I can't help you.
What's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you at this point? You're mentally deranged at this point if you think we're going to be on topic. So I took the bus there and back, all right? Jefferson lines. Going there was not bad. Actually, it was very nice. Coming back was hell. Do you want to know why, Russ?
Why is that?
Because the city of Minneapolis, okay, decided that it would be a great idea to have a marathon at 7:00 on a Sunday morning in October.
What kind of a marathon? You mean like running
Yes.
in the street?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. What's wrong with these people?
So there's a fucking... Okay, my bus left Minneapolis at 6:45. Okay? Or 6:50, right about that. The problem was, for me, they started closing the roads for this marathon right about the time I got downtown. So, in order to get to the bus station to, go the fuck home,
Yeah.
I had to go through the Skyway across Minneapolis pretty much into a parking lot that was definitely not supposed to be open, but it was.
Oh, wow.
Should we have been allowed in there? Absolutely not. Were we anyway?
A little late.
Huh?
Well, you were a little late getting home then.
No, I got home on time because I got downtown early. But that's my fucking harrowing story.
You were able to get home in time to see the show.
I got into Mitchell, which is about an hour from my house, at 2:00, 1:45, something like that. But when you consider I left Minneapolis at like 6:50, the fact that I didn't get there till almost 2:00 is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
because Mitchell's only 4 hours.
Yeah.
But
it took longer than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like 7 hours. I slept most of the time.
Good.
But Russ, this has been fun. We will be back here 1 week from... Well, actually, we're gonna be back here in 6 fucking days. Who the fuck am I kidding?
Saturday night.
Saturday night's all right for fighting, and we got Fastlane next week. And I'm
That's
hoping
right.
Devlin is going to be here next week. It sounded like he should be fine to be here next week,
Good.
but he got held over at work because people are stupid. Not his fault.
These things happen. What can you do?
Not his fault. But we are going to get the hell out of here.
Right.
Russ, my good friend.
Yes.
My partner in crime. And believe me, all we do is crime around here.
Hardcore crime.
There's nothing legal about what we're doing here. I'm kidding. It's all above board. As my mic drifts. All right. Everybody have a great rest of your week.
Yeah.
Go check out NFL. Go check out NFL because Uncle Russ's Comic Talk is, I guess, not on this week or whatever.
Temporarily on, not this week, on hiatus. I'll let you know.
Well, we'll keep you posted on Uncle Russ's Comic Talk. Go check out NFL. Go check out everything else here on the Lock 22 YouTube channel. We will be right back here tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Sunday next week, technically, because we're going to record the show Saturday night.
Right.
And then from there, we will see what happens. But Russ, it's good to be back, brother.
Yeah. Good to talk to you too, man.
You're still stuck with, you thought you'd gotten rid of me for good. And just when you think I'm out, I crawl back again.
What are we going to do?
I called Russ today at about 5:45 and he answered the phone like, holy fuck, this motherfucker's alive. God damn it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't heard from you. It's good to hear that you were confirmed that you were still breathing. But we will be back after another week of wrestling and Fastlane, WWE Fastlane.
Don't remind me.
Oh,
John Cena's wrestling on that show. Are you excited? I'm not. Okay, I'm ending the show now. Everybody have a great week. Go check out everything else here on Lock 22. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next week, folks. Damon, play our music. Bye-bye.